found out about my fibroid when I was pregnant with my now 24-year-old daughter, Noelle. And I was pregnant, and what I remember is my doctor telling me, "Oh, you have a fibroid," and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm a little dramatic. I'm gonna die. What's happening? It's cancerous, whatever." She's like, "No, girl, it's not." But it is there, and she just made me feel like it was no big deal. I was like, "So I don't have to do anything?" She was like, "No, it's fine." What she didn't tell me was that this thing was going to continue to grow in my body. And for me, I only wanted one child, so as far as me, wanting more children, that was not part of my personal story, but I do know that it would have affected me as my fibroid grew bigger and bigger, because at the end, when I had UFE, uterine fibroid embolization, it was like the size of like a large orange for sure. And then I had like 2 or 3 other ones that were a little smaller. But at that point, I was constantly on the celebrity baby bump list. Everyone was always thinking I was pregnant because I always had this bump. I was totally anemic. And actually, you didn't mention that as being one of the symptoms, and that was one of my biggest symptoms. Like when I tell you, I can tell you all the best ice spots in Atlanta, the gas station, the hospital, and they were like, "Girl, why are you at the hospital?" Because they got that good soft, fresh ice over there. Come make some of this ice. Like I was like, you would never not catch me with a cup of ice. I was very, very severely anemic. My sex life sucked. It was painful. I never wore white. What else? I don't like to throw the word depression around, but I was definitely in a dark space because I was tired all the time. My cycle would go as long as like 10 days, sometimes 10 to 12 days. So I was either on my period or getting on my period. So anyway, long story short, again, that was just a part of my life and my reality. And I was like in my early 40s once I found out about uterine fibroid embolization. And I did not find out this information from my gynecologist. I would go and get my checkup, and I mean, that was something that was never even checked. And finally I was like, why am I bleeding so much? Why am I always bloated? I started asking questions, and to be honest, she wasn't that helpful. She just was like, maybe you have fibroids, you should maybe look into having a hysterectomy. And I was like, well, damn, that's extreme. I gotta go straight to a hysterectomy. So then I started doing my research, and then I heard about UFE, which is basically a very simple procedure, like Dr. Yan said, that basically stops the blood flow to the fibroids. And I literally went in, filmed it for Housewives, fought with them to film it because they were like, well, we don't know if that's great TV. I was like, well, it's happening to my life. I am a reality star. This is like me walking in my truth. And to be honest, everyone on the cast except one person was dealing with fibroids. They just didn't talk about it. And now everybody's talking about it. Even some of the ones that was dealing with it then, now they're talking about it. But anyway, I'm just glad the conversation is still going. So one of the best things that I did, when I go anywhere in the world, you guys, when I tell you out of all the craziness that I've done, well, I wasn't that crazy on the Real Housewives, but I'll just say, anywhere I go in the world, women come up to me and thank me for talking about fibroids, because so many of us, especially African American women, are dealing with fibroids. And even the husbands, shout out to the men that came tonight, because what I want to say, like, when we're not happy and we're miserable and we don't feel good and we're tired, we don't take it out on y'all first. You guys need to be here getting this information and understand what your partners are going through, because we're not just mean. We're not just mean. We do want to have sex with you. We do love you, but we just don't feel like it if we deal with fibroids. We're not ourselves. And these fibroids, these non-cancerous tumors, are inside of us, and they literally drain the life out of us. And as women, we do the most. And it just makes life so much harder when you just don't feel good. So I encourage all of you tonight to please get checked out. This is not something that your OBGYN is going to ask you if you have. You have to ask those questions. You have to continue to get information. And that is why, although I'm on the other side of fibroids, I'm like, well, I'm on the other side of menopause at this point too. But anyway, I don't deal with them anymore, but I do feel like it's important for me to keep the conversation going. So that's so good. That's my story.